trust me, a country that's got way better, more of those, they can actually do a much better job against a country that is, again, having people but not the equipment.
Okay, so war will always eventually lead to ground man versus man. It always comes down to that in the end. Even if you decimate the country's military, sooner or later you have to confront them physically, like the Ukrainians are finding too. So yes, technology will play a role in terms of the strategic, handicapping a country and stuff like especially when you don't have nukes, while others do. They can threaten you, to level your cities. Then you will surrender before they even need to shoot you on the ground. But if you decide to carry on fighting, then they will just level the entire thing.
Even Ukraine is not like man versus man exactly. It's all strategic. It's not like you have like a massive, because your mind tonight, you have this abstraction that war is going to be like, you agree to meet on this field on this day at this time, your soldiers versus their soldiers. The person with a bigger number is like, strategically more likely to win given other circumstances. That is very far from it.
But that is not what I described at all. I just acknowledge that the strategic aspect that's the first role that it plays. Sometimes it can get a nation to surrender without even firing a shot. But if you carry on fighting and that nation knows you're not going to use your strategic weapons, it always comes down to hand. That's like the Americans did with the Iraqi soldiers or the Afghanis. It always comes down to that. You have to fire rocket propelled grenade. You have to use your snipers and all that.
Question: how will Nigeria protect itself against an airstrike with a 1 million men?
Right. No. What makes you think you're just going to sit there?
Talking about numbers, but you're not talking about the reality of war, modern warfare.
The airstrikes. Let me give you one instance how you can protect that fight against this thing, airstrikes. By not fighting it, let them strike whatever they want to strike. Just get out of their way. When they finish, if they are going to go away, fine. If they want to come back, sooner or later they want to stay, isn't it? Let them come down. Let them live there. Let's see how long they're going to survive there.
Okay, shut up. We got a couple.
That's how you make war. Not fighting somebody where they are strongest. You fight them where they are weakest.
Niger, they are going to come and fight you and bombard you. That's the point.
Why are you going to sit there and wait for them to bombard you? Avoid them. Hide away. Do whatever you need to do to avoid bombardment. Niger, why would you sit there? I really feel bad for people that say they're going to get bombarded.
I get it. Tonight, I've never heard you ever once talk about military tech improving military tech, surveillance, intelligence.
I talked about that just yesterday. What are you going on about?
No, you always talk about improving the number of people, right?
No, because number is the most important. It's the key one first. And that's the easiest one to do because we have them ready now.
If it's the most important one tonight, and I just said, how are you going to defend yourself from air strikes?
By not defending yourself from air strikes. That's how you defend yourself from air strikes.
You're going to get bombarded. So the real answer is this. Nigeria is weak as far as their air forces. They have Embraers, old-ass Embraers from, I believe, Brazil. They're using old-ass second-hand aircraft that they're barely able to strike at Boko Haram in the north. So Nigeria's military is weak.
Yes, avoid them. At all costs, avoid bombardment.
You can't avoid at all costs when someone attacks you. You have to try to be able to defend yourself.
If you don't have the tech to fight them in the air tonight before they start bombarding you. That's the point.
They only have as many ammunitions to fight. You people think that they have the indefinite amount. They can bomb and bomb and bomb. Sooner or later, they could bomb that thing for 10 years. They will not be able to kill all the soldiers. They can bomb. Sooner or later, they have to come down. When they come down, that's when you settle. You say, okay, you want to come and live here. Okay. When you try to send this in supplies, your logistics, it keeps getting disrupted. All your lives will be made miserable. And if you have an organized force that is disciplined that way, you could make their lives unbelievably difficult. They will not be able to survive there. But the problem with most military is that they will just send most of them people to go and die for no justifiable reason. When you know you're going to get decimated like the Iraqis did, why would you do that? I would just say, don't bother. Go home. Leave them. Let them take the country.
You never run a country.
Pardon?
Please don't ever run a country. Please don't ever run a country.
Okay, I'm not going to run a country then just because you say so. My point is that you don't fight a force that is stronger than you and where they are strongest. It's just a useless fight.
You're
Wasting
missing the
life.
point, Niger, right? As in bombarding, they can kill. Do you know how many people died so far in the Tigray war?
See,
Hundreds of thousands of people, right? And do you know which people mostly died? It was the Tigrayan side that actually had more casualties. And do you know what the deciding factor
now, isn't
of
it?
this? Actually, it's a mix, but yeah, more soldiers died. But
because what they are doing is trying to prevent them from coming in. I'm not going to resist.
Yeah, but okay. One of the ways we're able to come in faster was using air, right? They will strike, bombard, and then they'll clear up space so that for the soldiers to march in. If you don't have a strong air force to Niger, you literally are so disadvantaged. You can have a lot of million standing men, right? And you're not going to make that significant effort if you don't have an equally strong air force. And if you're a seacoast country, which Nigeria is, you also need a naval base. They're saying, like, because Nigeria, if you just said Nigeria needs to be militarily ready, regardless of which sort of process it takes to become that, you analyze it, you go figure out the best and which one's going to really solve the Boko Haram. I'd agree with you, but you all kind of pinholes through this idea that increasing the number of standing soldiers is the solution, as opposed to improving the strength of the military. That's the issue I have.
The beginning of the solution, because that one is already there on the ground waiting for you to use it. The other ones you have to buy, you have to develop, you have to do all kinds of things. When you already have the resources on the ground, why just ignore it and just go and do something else? And what I'm talking about too is just the base level, not even the technological level.
Niger, are you ever going to bro? You like jumping on the internet and you just colonize everybody's goddamn panel, bro. Can anybody else get some that? Come on, bro.
I'm just learning from the colonizers.
You're telling it back and forth to you and Kaiser, and then you speaking in circles, bro. You're not even listening to what he's telling you. If you're
good, what he's saying, you are just expecting me to accept it, whether it's logical or not.
No, but
yo, what's good? Flexed up over there. Shout out to Chuku, and also long time Audrey. Hopefully you're doing well.
Have one-on-ones on a whole panel.
You want to say something? Go ahead and say something there. Sorry.
No, I started and then you cut me and you jump back in, man. Where's the Pan-Africanism in that?
Go ahead, like music. Come on, I'm not trying. You got it. The conversation was interesting between myself and Keizo. So go ahead if you need to say something.
And when I come to your Nigerian channels, show me respect, please, brother. I pay money. I pay good money when I go to these channels.
No, you paid what? No, he paid money once, and he's talking like he pays good money. Not good money.
Every time I go, I drop a little. You know what I'm saying? 1,000 naira or something like that. You know what I'm saying? But anyway, what y'all talking about? Black Americans and military. What's up? I saw my people in the title, so I couldn't straighten it.
Okay, so let me clarify some of what we said. So basically, Black Americans. First of all, we start talking about Black Americans. Are they the sixth region, or rather, diaspora in general of Africa? And should that mean something? If a Black American is being, or rather Black Americans are being oppressed by any other racial group within the diaspora, in America, UK, whatever, should we as Africans somehow mobilize ourselves, either politically or through some kind of acts of maybe we'll sanction this group if they don't do something and stop it? So basically, should Black Americans be protected by us from the continent? That's one. Two, Black Americans, are some of them mentally not okay that they're claiming Native Indians, Hebrew Israelites, the Moors, and all these other groups where they have like a small claim to, as opposed to Africa? You never hear Black Americans talk about the Oyo Kingdom, feeling proud of it, or Benin, or it's mostly as far west you get is Mali, and that's because Mali's history can't be denied. They don't want to go with the Yoruba, Osun, and Ogun. They always want to go with the Ra, Imhotep, Habshet. Ancient Mesopotamia. Basically, there's a certain place where they like to go. I don't like to go down west. The only one I think they do is the Bantu Israelite movement, which they claim Congo, right? So first of all, are they not wanting to claim Africa because Africa is populated by dusty videos of kids with flies walking in their eye? and the trained Hollywood flies. I mean, there's no way a fly would just walk on your eye, but yeah, the trained Hollywood flies walking on these kids' eyes, and they just don't want to associate that. And that's what my Nigerian brother said, Mr. Mo. One man went to Mo. However, I half disagreed because I said, well, they also want to be Native Americans. So with the Native American stuff, it's an exoticism attached to it. It's like so they want either they want power or they want exoticism. So yeah. And then also African military.
All right. So what was the first one again? And then we'll go to the Native American thing.
So the first one was basically should Africa protect Black Americans
sixth region. If you go to the African Union and you look at the sixth region, it's speaking about the diaspora, which are people. They're not talking about the transatlantic slave diaspora, so-called diaspora. They're talking about people who have a direct line.
Thank you.
Yeah, they're talking about people who have a direct line straight to Africa, and what you're going to see in there, it's peppered with investment into the continent. That's the true diaspora. That's the sixth region. It's not the descendants of slaves. It's totally not.
Are you serious? Are you serious?
Wait, hold on. Hold on to Niger. Let me explain.
Keizo is pretending as if he doesn't know that he's talking. He's quite mistaken in his narrative.
Wait, hold on, but hold on to Niger. You're starting to colonize again. You're starting to colonize again. He's asking about my people and our relationship as a diaspora, and then I can't talk anymore without colonizing you. What's wrong with you? Stop. No, hold on. Let me finish though. Let me finish. I'm not going to allow the descendant of a slave trader to tell me when I can speak. Those times are all over. So now listen. So we are not the diaspora. I keep telling Black Americans we're not the diaspora. Who they speak of the diaspora is people with direct descendants. So Keizo in England is the diaspora. They want Keizo's money funneled right back into Kenya.
That makes sense. Yeah.
Okay. So and to Niger, you can fact check me, bro. We can go to the African Union's website, and I believe now the person in charge of the diaspora thing is some like Ethiopian or something like that, or at least it was a couple of years ago. And you'll see that the sixth region is not about Haiti. It's about descendants pumping money right into Africa. So since we are not the true diaspora, and Africa had their time to reach out to the sons and daughters of the people that they sold, they never did. Why? Because we're not even supposed to exist anymore. Those empires and kingdoms back in the day sold us off, and they didn't care what happened to us. And people say, oh, they didn't know what was going to happen. No, the atrocities were happening on the walks from the interior down to the coast and anywhere in between, like Asin Manso in Ghana and other places in Nigeria and all along the slave/gold coast. They knew what was going on. We were held in castles where we were being guarded by other Africans. Women were being raped. Men were just picking out women. Yo, wash that one off, bring her upstairs. And the half-breeds stayed on the continent as a buffer zone, so they knew exactly what happened. So when we were sold, they didn't give a fuck about us then. They don't give a fuck about us now unless we're talking about money. So they don't owe us shit unless it's reparations. We don't owe them shit in terms of any sort of Pan-Africanism, whatever. So now the second point that you asked me about Indians and Egypt and Kemet and all of that shit, right? When you say Black Americans, are they mentally whatever? Look, in every ethnic group, you're going to have people that are eccentric. You're going to have people that don't embrace the reality of who they are. So they start looking at shiny things and exotic things and things that just look like to try to hide the actual descent, right? So that's why you have people claiming to be the Olmecs. You have people who jump over West Africa and go all the way to the shiny pyramids, and then you speak about the 25th dynasty, but they ignore the 24th, the 23rd, the 22nd, right? They want to be a part of that when they don't even look like those people. Our history goes nothing back to that. So why don't we embrace Africa, West Africa? For the same reason that I spoke about. We know that we are African American, Black American, and to be Black, you have to be of African descent. But we were kicked off of the continent, sold off to the continent. So there's a lot of us. It's like, yo, all right, it is what it is. That's where my forefathers came from, but that ain't us no more. So why should we be reaching out to, people that you're obviously seeing a louder voice of people that don't really fuck with us. I think they don't really fuck with us because half of them jealous that they weren't born in the country that a lot of them are fleeing to. You have a guy named Jude who constantly comes on here. He's supposed to be some like Bantu Israelite. I'm like, bro, how are you an Israelite and your people never got sold? Because that's like the whole thing, right? They were sold because they turned back on God and his people stayed on a continent. So it's like he's trying to grandfather himself into slavery just to try to claim, that he's the chosen people or some other shit. I don't know. So there's a lot of mental illness on both sides. I embrace who I am as a Black American. I understand that I'm of African descent. That's not the same as being African. And as far as those kingdoms back in the days, I don't give a shit about them, because I'll tell you what, those kingdoms have done nothing for their people in the present time except preserve old, antiquated culture that keeps their countries financially and economically and politically weak as fuck. So why would I, as a Black American living in a number one military strong power in the world in terms of quality, right? The not the commander in chief, this Department of the Secretary of Defense is a Black American, FBA. Why would I care about the Oyo Kingdom? You go to the Oyo Kingdom, it's nothing but dust anyway. So we're good.
Okay, so one, the African listing, the sixth region includes the diasporans, all diasporans of African descent. That is how simply it was put. They didn't say that it's only for the ones that left Africa recently. It doesn't even make sense when you think about it, if that's what they were saying, because all the cons that left recently, they know the countries they are from. They know their towns. They left there recently. The reason for the sixth region.
Are you reading this off of the website?
Yes, because it makes sense too. Let me read it. It says the diaspora, the African diaspora, which includes people of African descent living outside of the African continent, such as the Americas, Australia, Asia, and Europe, has been officially recognized by the African Union as its sixth region.
Okay, hold on. Wait, let me ask you this. The descendants of this transatlantic slave trade, are they from Asia? No. They are speaking about Africans that moved to other countries, like the Africans that were getting banged on in China. They're not speaking about
you
us.
See, because you don't know that there are Africans present in Asia too. That you see, you think
I do know that, but I'm saying they're not.
Know that, then why are you bringing that point up?
No, because it needs to be stated. When they speak about Africans in Asia, they're not talking about Black Americans, bro. I want you to read the title.
You know that they also mentioned the Americas. Americas, don't you understand? Americas includes African Americans. Or you think it's only United States that's America?
Did it say specifically descendants of the slave trade? Or are they speaking about
why do you always want slave attached to your identity? They said descendants of Africans from all over the world,
My whole premise is that there is a difference of a true diaspora. The diaspora are people who descend from a country, right? They have a direct line. We don't have a direct line.
Oh, you're talking about the Jewish diaspora too. The Jewish diaspora, they are not from a specific country.
Let me explain to you. You're Nigerian, more specifically, you're Ijaw, right? I'm Black American of African descent. That can be anywhere from Mali all the way down to Angola. So there's no way the place that I fit in, nor that I would want to fit in, because I'm proud of who I am. When they say Africans in America and in Asia, they're speaking about Africans that left to go study, that left to go work. They're not speaking about transatlantic slavery descendants, unless they say that specifically.
Okay,
so could you read? I want you to read.
They need to state it exactly the way you want it. They stated it clearly so you can understand. Look at
wait. It needs to be stated clearly, because if you read the context of what they're saying, you didn't even get to the financial part. It's really speaking about those. It's speaking about the remittance diaspora. That's who they're speaking about.
No.
Absolutely.
That's not what they're saying. Come on, stop it.
Why don't you start from?
Why would they say that? See, that's the definition of the. I just gave you the definition. They didn't differentiate. They said the African diaspora, which includes people of African descent, not recent departure from African countries, African descent, living outside of the African continent, such as the Americas, Australia, Asia, and Europe, has been officially recognized by the African Union as its 6th region. It's clear.
This is the same. Wait, okay. Let me ask you a question. This is the same governing body or organization that denied Haiti, the most African people born outside of the continent, membership because they're not part of the continent.
Why do you think they are recognizing it this way? Because they know that this is
no. But this is what I'm saying. What is the purpose of a 6th region if there's no power attached to it? The African Union is an organization. So when they say the 6th region and then they deny Haiti membership when Haiti wanted to get down.
They had not created the 6th region then when Haiti was denied.
Hold on. Haiti was denied twice. So that's what I'm saying. All they're really talking about are people that have a direct line. They ain't talking about us because Haiti, who has a phenotypical direct line, but they are geographically separated, was denied. And that's my point. This whole shit
you're just trying to disassemble here.
Hold on.
You are dissembling. This is clear case. You're just
that's not how this is gonna go. That's not how this is gonna go, motherfucker. When I speak, shut your
can you just stop with all the courses? Otherwise, come on, man.
Every time I speak, you stop.
Calm down.
So I'm gonna treat you like a bitch ass nigga until you start showing some fucking respect. Stop cutting me off when I'm talking about my shit.
You're going to trip on yourself if you carry on like this.
Now, you bitch ass nigga, you don't know how to shut your mouth when you're talking.
Why should I shut my
mouth? You're gonna talk over me like you do everybody else in the panel.
You want me to let you talk? Go ahead.
No, you don't let me shit. I'm going to curse you out until you get in line, motherfucker. Now, what I was saying is this. The transatlantic slave trade, the diaspora is not who they're talking about. They're targeting educated and well-doing Africans in the diaspora. My proof to this is that they don't speak to us specifically. They say this also includes, right? But what trumps that is when the ones from Haiti tried to join, they denied them. All they want is money. So the 6th region is really about money. So anybody that's getting it, they want your money. But as far as a political or power standpoint, there's no reason to join or be part of a 6th region. There's no fucking passport. There's no visas. There's no political connection. There's nothing. It's only a one-way investment into Africa, so for investment. That's all it is.
That's not proof. That's deduction.
Is this a fucking white guy talking to me? Oh, God.
That's deduction. You use deductive reasoning to come to your conclusion.
Nigel, let me tell you something, brother. I don't want to go off on you, but you have to understand, bro, when people are speaking, let them finish and then respond to the point. Don't cut me off and try to talk over me. That's how shit is going to go left. This is part of the differences in culture, right? I grew up in a culture where we don't let nobody walk over us. So until you understand that, you will never really truly understand the Black American. We are the kings of the turn up. So when you start disrespecting and cutting and talking down, we're going to turn up. And then I don't really give a fuck about how they take it. But I'm still trying to handle you like a brother and try to show you when we speak and let us speak like I let you speak. You got to pass the mic. That's part of our culture. You pass the mic. You don't colonize the chat. Please just take that as me showing you how to deal with Black Americans.
You want me to read another version of this again so that it makes it clearer for you?
But Tinaju, let me ask you a question. Sometimes I do notice you ignore some points and then you turn your mic up so that you can overtalk everyone. But why, if they care about the diaspora as not just, let's say, me living in the UK, did they reject Haiti twice from joining the African Union? If they do want a political union for the diaspora,
you want the answer to that? You want the answer to that? My suspicion is that if they accept Haiti, because the African Union specifically is designed for the continent, and if they accept Haiti, then they will have to accept maybe Israel. They will have to accept maybe another country, one other major group in Africa decides that maybe Yemen. They will have to, because there's no difference in the standards then. You see what I mean?
What do you mean
it's a Pandora. If Somalia argues for Yemen, if Somalia argues that they have to bring Yemen or Ethiopia, let's say the honors say they want Yemen to join the African Union, they have a case. Then, if you bring Haiti in, you must well bring Yemen in. You must well bring Israel in. So the African Union is supposed to be tied to the continent itself. The fact that the African Union actually accepted the African origin definition of the sixth region, that is a very big achievement.
So Niger, you Google that and you read the first.
So what do you want me to do?
That came up. I wanted you to, which is why I asked you. I said, go to the African Union website. Go to the African Union website. You want me to read it from the African Union website, right, bro? You just Googled it and then you read the first thing that came up.
Okay, I'm on the African Union website right now. Do you want me to read
what they said? Let me ask you this too, Niger. Why when I asked you to go there, did you read just a Google result instead of going to the website like I thought you were on?
No, I was on Wikipedia. But
exactly. I'm telling you, go directly to the African Union website.
Okay, now I'm looking on their website, and do you want me to read it too?
No, first, can you tell me who is the chairman or the president of, or who runs that section, please? Is he in Ethiopia?
I'm just on the page where the definition is.
It should be at the top. Because under that, whoever runs the department should be listed as who it is. There should be a picture with the man last time.
No, I don't see that here. I'm just looking at the diaspora division, and they're talking about what the diaspora represents there. So, if you want me to read the definition again that they gave there, I will read it to you. That they didn't distinguish. They actually said, it doesn't even matter what nationality you are. It doesn't matter. As long as you have of African origin, that's it.
This is a political move, first and foremost.
It's not me.
It's a political move. So would Haiti joining piss off the United States? Very possibly. Would individuals from across the world deciding to move to Africa piss off the United States? Probably not. I think that would be my guess.
But why would it piss off the United States if Haiti joins the African Union?
Probably because it would be a pull of influence. If Haiti joined the African Union, U.S. would have less influence relative, and Africa would gain more influence, would be my guess.
I see. And okay, that too probably plays a role, and that may also explain why the African Union itself does not directly engage the African American population in the U.S. Because that would seem like domestic interference into America's this internal affairs, and that if Americans are going to be pissed off by Haiti getting involved in the African Union, can you imagine how they will feel if African Union got involved in the things going on within the African American community in the US? So this in the NAC, are you hearing this now? So you see why.
So I'm actually on the African Union website right now. I'm on the website right now. I'm not using Wikipedia. Stand by. I'll be back. Keep talking.
Oh no, he wants to go and learn. He wants to go and do his homework. He didn't read it clearly before. Let me read it just in case, just to clarify things. He says the African diaspora as consisting of people of African origin living outside the continent, irrespective of their citizens and nationality, and who are willing to contribute to the development of the continent and the building of the African Union. Is basically that's the definition. That's where it stops. So it's not that complicated. If you have African origin and living outside the continent, you are considered part of the sixth region.
To be honest, I think they left it open-ended so that they don't discourage Black Americans from investing in Africa, obviously.
Exactly.
But yeah, so it's left open-ended. So shout out, we got a new panelist, Musanda. What's good, Musanda? What do you think? And also, guys, it's good to actually have the white man's opinions so that we can reflect within ourselves. to truly know if we are up to his IQ.
Oh
which
God, no,
which
you
white
come
man
without
is
your,
like that?
he's
Wait,
coming
which
without his
white man? Who's
IQ
the white man
nonsense
here?
again.
Who's the white man here, guys?
I think it's flow state there.
Who's the white man? I just came in now. Who's
It's
the
flow
white man? Is it
state.
me? No,
Eh?
man. Who's the white man?
Flow
I
state.
think it's flow state. It's flow state.
Oh,
I
Flow
think that
State.
it's not bad to have it white people so that they can also be present to
No,
hear
no,
some of
no,
the
no.
stuff
And I
Imagine,
tried
not
to
white
put
about.
my
people.
I tried to put my friend, my Africano friend. Look, I'm actually gonna. I'll try to do it this Saturday. I don't know if you're gonna have a live. I try to put my Africano friend through this live. You ask him questions. He kind of grew up with black people, so yeah. But
Do you want Africa
yeah,
to fail? Do you want the American $23 trillion economy to survive? And also, Flo, say, what's your opinion on Tanaja's point that you can build a strong military without an economic base, and then go sign
Oh
after?
my God.
no, you
Um,
can't. That's BS.
Yeah,
How you gonna
military
build
is
a
only as
system?
strong as the
Kenzo just
economy.
put you a fake question. He gave you a fake question. That's not what I said. You see what he's doing? Kenzo is awful.
No.
Like
We're,
that.
we're asking the question. So yeah, you
But,
guys are.
but that's not what I said. Why are you giving them fake questions? It's not. I never
Is it
said that.
possible to build a strong? Okay. Let me the real question: chicken or the egg? Do strong nations build their military first, or have an economic base, or some middle ground? Tunisia thinks they just build a strong military from the ground, and he says that's the only way to be free. Actually, quote unquote, the only way.
If you want me to
Build
answer it the way I said it, so that they
No,
hear
I mean
it.
even
That's not what I
that
said.
itself does
That's
not make sense.
You see,
Because
it's
for
a total
America,
misrepresentation.
wait, for the West to colonize the world, they first had to industrialize, and then that's when they started
Exactly.
conquering other nations. Even the idea itself, it doesn't even explain, because even the basic of every nation, even China, right?
Why
Remember,
are you
China became the
biting,
manufacturing
Musanda?
hub.
What is wrong with you? I just said I never said that.
Oh yeah, I'm not saying
Jesus.
that's what you said. I'm contradicting. I know Kaiser's making it up. I'm not. I'm not I'm not fighting you. I'm not debating you. I'm just saying the statement itself, even if he made it up, I'm just saying does not make any sense whatsoever. I don't think anyone would ever say that, though. To be honest,
Let
the
me
idea
say, let me let you know
Clarify
what was
yourself,
actually
Tunisia.
said. What was actually said was that when you have a nation with the capacity to be able to do something, that's, in other words, you are not zero industrialized, you are already started industrialization. You don't have to be fully industrialized before you build your defenses. You just have to, you need a specific amount of industrialization, then you can actually build, especially in the context of modern defenses.
What do you mean by build defenses, Tunisia? Because no one's going against
Because
building defenses.
the
What we're talking
idea
about
is-
here is being free. No, the conversation went to be sovereign, to be a truly sovereign state. You have countries like China, right? Russia, America. These are one of the few sovereign states, right? And you mentioned and you brought in North Korea. I said, no, North Korea is economically is not able to make deals nilly-willy with everybody, right? They're so sanctioned to the point whereby they're a shithole country where people eat grass. So the point here is, Niger, is what's more important, industrializing and then building your industrial tech and military, or in your case, you said you think it's just better to just go ahead. North Korea said it's sovereign. You even think it's a good thing that they did that instead of
yes, of course, it's a good thing.
Okay,
See,
Musanda,
the reason why I said that,
Nigerian now.
Musanda, just in case, before you respond, look at the comment that I put on the chat stating what the Chinese did. Chinese was basically an agricultural state when they went straight into their building their nuclear technology. The reason why they did that, because they know they need to put that in place first to be able to build whatever else they want that comes
They
after.
had a huge economy rolling first.
Exactly. You know,
No, not in the 1950s.
Wait,
In the
hang on,
1950s,
Tunisia.
you see what
The
Kenzo
white
is
man
doing.
is
He's
right
trying
on
to
this
interrupt me. Let me answer him.
The white
In the
man is right
1950s,
tonight. Come on.
in the 1950s, it's only from Kenzo you will hear that, isn't it? The one that calls all Africans low IQ. In the 1950s, 52 precisely, China's workforce is 20% into agriculture. And then that was the same time. Let me finish my point, Kenzo. That was the same time from agriculture. That is not industrialized. Let's not make the mistake here. From agriculture, they went into nuclear technology. It tells you that
they had a huge economic base. They had a huge economic population that they could basically turn into slaves, and they had a huge land mass with a lot of resources. So they had an economy for current cash flow purposes. They had enough revenue and productivity that they could then fund their developing military.
but not
Exactly.
industrialized.
No, to Nigeria, you go hang on. You keep mentioning something to Nigeria. Let me cut you off. The white man
Because
is very different.
you kept saying
Hang
it
on,
was
Nigeria,
industrialization.
you
Now you're
cut people
changing
off.
your topic
It's
again.
not good behavior to Nigeria. You have to let people communicate. Otherwise, it's
Stop
not.
going on. You are doing.
That means he was correct. You got bad
Good.
manners.
You have posted your comments so that
1952.
everybody sees it.
Sinaja, be civilized, man. Come on, be
Be
civilized.
civilized,
It's the white man.
Come on, I don't forget the white Jesus on you, okay?
Oh my God, all this ridiculousness.
18%. Nigeria, come on, you have to respect
Check
your
guys,
fellow. In 1952, 83% of Chinese workers were employed in agriculture. To Nigeria, why are you assuming
Nigeria is in a better state right now than that.
Keep talking over people, it's not good manners. I don't know where in Nigeria you're born. You're born in a bush eating, I don't know, bush meat, but
Just go on now. Enjoy yourself. Carry on.
Nigeria, it's simple.
That guys don't finish, man. These Africans.
This guy is very bad at the end. Anyways, to Nigeria, listen, you're assuming the white man is correct. China already had an industrial nation. They were trading of industrial products. They were actually building industries. When you're saying this is the percentage of people, is not the same thing as they didn't have an industrialized cities, right? You're somehow making this weird assumption.
30% is reserved for industrialization.
Hang on. Industrialization is not about percentage of how many people are in working in XYZ. China is a subcontinent with 550 million people at this time. Right, 80%.
You just walked into my space now. You just walked into what I'm talking about.
You have to let
we have enough to build.
It is bad behavior to Nigeria.
Oh, stop your nonsense, bad behavior.
To Nigeria, it's bad behavior to talk over people, okay? Let them finish and then you speak afterwards.
That's getting old now. Move on.
Okay, I'm moving on. The point here is to Nigeria, China had 550 million people. They had industries. They were making products. They were trading plutonium and uranium deposits that they had with China. With Russia and the rest of the world. They were trading with America since 1860s. So it's not like they were not industrialized. This is a percentage of people that were dusty. It's not the same thing that China didn't have an economic base to be able to actually build the nuclear weapon system from. Percentage is not the same thing. As I mentioned, India's GDP is lower than Africa. India has
talk and talk and talk. The point you're making now is irrelevant.
The point is simple here. India has a smaller GDP than Africa as a whole. India has a stronger political and military and industry than Africa because India takes some money, focuses on some 3 or 4 key cities, and makes them extremely industrialized. Majority of India is not industrialized, but compared to Africa, it has more power and they got, for example, Tata Steel, they got car situation, the tuk-tuks are from there, etc., which have marketed the African market and pharmaceuticals. The point is, it's not about the percentage of people in industrialization.
It's like you're talking a lot so that you don't get found to be wanting.
It's simple. India is more industrialized than Africa because they have hubs of industrialization. That's the point. It's not about the percentage. Percentage-wise, Africa is actually more so-called less people in the in the dusty sectors. But that's not the point here. It's about power, economic powers to Nigeria. China had that.
Okay. When India built.
Can I go in? Maratuna, you've been talking, man.
After Mustanda, I want to go. But you colonizing the chat again, bro.
Something. When India built what they built,
you gotta pass the mic to Nigeria. This is not
they didn't have all these companies when they built their defenses. They didn't have Tata.
Guys, I put him in timeout.
Let Mustanda speak, bro.
He hasn't spoken yet. You can speak later to Nigeria.
Yeah, right. Let him carry on.
I'll be honest with you. And it was even short. This guy's making it too long. I wasn't even going to be long here. I actually wanted to ask guys, how did because I was unable to come in. How did yesterday's panel end? That's why I exactly wanted to go. It was a pretty short thing. Yeah.
Tonight just started misbehaving.
I was watching the repeats when at work.
Mike,
What
the
is
loudest.
I wasn't shouting one. He was shouting at everybody.
And I didn't say he was shouting.
Who was shouting at everybody? Hammer. Why was he shouting at you guys? Wasn't the topic about South Africans? Black South African don't sell something.
Oh no, we moved on very quickly to talking about industrialization and defense and all that stuff. So he was just shouting at everyone. He wouldn't end, and he just turned into a pantomime, really. So he left in the end.
Yo, Kaizo, on that point about military, would you have to have a strong military first or a strong economy? It's a combination of two, but it always starts with money. Without money, you can't build anything. And if you don't have it, then you have to trade something for it. So since the Chinese created gunpowder, the Portuguese used money to buy gunpowder from them. You can't just say, "Oh, I'm going to make a strong military," and you don't have the know-how, the materials, or to do it. You have to have money first. So it's money first.
Yeah.
Yeah.
There's always enough money for, military is or defense and security instruments of state is one of the first priorities of a state. So once you have a minimal amount of resources, let's say 20% of what you generally need to survive in a bigger economy, you can move then. And that's what you see all the key nations do. From Iran didn't even care they were being sanctioned, they still went anyway. North Korea, the same thing. India, the same thing. China, the same thing. All these people that did them, they are the ones that are broken out of the control of the West. So when we say this, I'm not saying it because I'm just making my own stuff up. That's how they all behaved. I didn't make it up.
Yeah. Can you guys still hear me? Or
Yeah,
can you guys hear me?
you.
Yeah.
No change.
Look, I just want to say this. I get the whole military thing. Obviously, military and protection is important, and all these other things. But the truth is, if you're like at ground level, like lately the budget for military is gonna just overuse the budget for just feeding your nation. Like, what are you gonna be protecting in the first place? You know what I mean? I think that's the
I
state that a
don't.
lot of African countries are in. Is like like you said, like the first pillars of building any nation is one to supply electricity and roads. Right? Once you supply electricity and roads, a lot of the things just fall in part.
Does
Right? Like
Nigeria
those are
have
the
electricity?
two most important things that build any nation. Right? Electrification and then roads. Right? You build that, everything just else falls into line. And to what the guy, Mr. Nagmizi was saying, yes, that's absolutely true. You do need money in order to obviously buy that military equipment that you're talking about, because obviously, as an African state, you don't have you don't have the equipment and the materials to make the weapons, and also you don't have the military engineers, I guess is what you call them, or at least experts in that industry. For most part, you're going to have to buy that from either Russia or China, because they're the ones that tend to want to sell to African nations. I think the US, I don't know, I think they have like a law on not selling any US equipment to African states. But yeah, so you're going to have to buy those weapons at the end of the day. So you're going to have a productive economy where you sell something and use the products or the produce of that to buy materials from the China or Russia. So yeah.
Well, Musanda, let me jump on that point real quick, brother. And what you said, you have to have the products to sell to be able to, build that stuff, right? Africa, a lot of African countries don't even really 100% control their natural resources. So it's like a revolving door, right? If there was an industrial revolution in Africa, then they could have done their part in creating and making their own weapons. I think South Africa produces their own weapons, and if I'm not mistaken, it's probably white people in South Africa that are producing weapons in Africa. For the most part, African countries get hand-me-down weapons from their former colonizers, and
The states, but yeah, for the most part, yeah, because it was handed out to the black. Yeah, but the state, they call it Danel. They produce the weapon. I think they still sell today. We sold some weapons to the
Nigeria
Saudis.
is manufacturing armored vehicles now and
No, but
ships.
yeah, Nigeria also manufactures armored vehicle. I know Nigeria also manufactures its own military.
they manufacture some navy boats in Nigeria, but the
Not
Air
boats,
Force
actually ships. They're making ships now.
they're using Brazilian airplanes. I know that for a fact. They're Brazil. I think the
Oh,
Embraers.
no. I know
But
that our Air Force is terrible. They don't give them very good
Yeah,
Yeah,
aircraft.
but that's not
That's
a
part of
problem.
most of
almost
the
an
fights
No. I mean,
nowadays,
that's not a problem.
are not taking place on the
yeah.
ground. It starts
Yeah,
in
but
the air.
that means
They soften everybody up from the air, and if you have a weak air force, your ground troops are going to suffer. When shit gets hot on the ground, what do they call? They call for air support. If you have a weak air force, then the rest of your shit is going to be weak too.
yeah,
Most
but
Air
like
Force
no
these
way,
days
pause.
Okay,
They
there
actually
is
believe in.
yeah.
That's pretty
No,
extreme.
no, Andre, Ashkenazis have like an IQ of 110 on average. That's the highest for any single ethnic group
That's
in the
the
world.
average in the West, brother. What do you mean?
No, average anywhere. Africa is even lower. It's like 70, bro.
Wait,
Like,
Forget the
listen,
IQ,
bro.
Kyle.
Yeah, okay.
Forget the IQ. Like you know how much money like Israel gets from America every year? I don't know, billions of dollars, right?
I don't know.
So all that money, all that support from the West, and the skill set they bring this Ashkenazi Jews, it does more good to the area if we're objective than bad.